What's going on, guys? Tom here from the Geek Culture Podcast at geekculturepodcast.com. Today we are going to be opening and building Ultron from the Marvel Legends Ant-Man Infinite series line. We have 6 figures to look at, some of which make sense to be in the line, and some I could really do without. But the methodical Hasbro toy company knows that I'm a sucker and will continue to buy every one forever until I die, poor, sad, and lonely. With that being said, the first figure we're going to check out is Marvel's Bulldozer. This is a monster of a figure, and he has some super girth to him. Bulky, extremely detailed mold. You can see him right here. We're just going to cut the opening of the package so you guys don't get bored. Now, he has no accessories despite his one open hand. His metal armor is all loose on him and not attached, with exception to the cuffs. Now, the paint around the cuffs, this like metal-looking material, is extremely detailed. Really good job on the paint. There's a little bleed on his arms where the cuffs are, but all in all, solid, sturdy figure, and definitely a really good first opener for this line. You'll see he's got some really decent articulation, too. I like that Hasbro's slowly putting these ab-crunching pivot points for articulation on all these guys' abdomens now. It makes them a little easier to pose and move around. So all in all, Bulldozer is a pretty solid fig for the first open. Now, actually, I'm going to show you guys, I didn't notice this until putting him back, that even his feet are detailed. His boots even have, toe articulation, but the detail on the bottom of his boots are absolutely incredible. They really went all out on this Bulldozer figure, and he's definitely standing out as I open the rest of these guys as one of my favorites in this line thus far. All right, cool. I think I'm going to give him a decent pose here. He's going to look pretty awesome. On to the next figure. Thanks, Bulldozer. You look dope. All right, so here we are. As I said in the beginning, there are some solid figures in this line, and then there's Marvel's Tiger Shark. While I can appreciate the rarity and the oddity of a Tiger Shark figure, I really don't understand why in a line for Ant-Man they wouldn't include, say, Yellow Jacket. So we get Tiger Shark instead. So besides personal butthurt that I'm experiencing for the exclusion of Yellow Jacket, I can also rip this lame Tiger Shark figure a new one while we're at it. This figure could not possibly be more boring if it tried. From its poses to its generically lame mold, no finger articulation, which leaves you in a few only grr, I'm evil kind of stances. The one redeeming thing about this guy is his paint. And no, not his Cincinnati Bengals body paint either. His face is actually incredible. His teeth are individually painted, and the mouth sculpt is beyond detailed. So besides me thinking the fin a little lame, his facial features are absolutely phenomenal. That alone is half redeeming for this toy, for this figure. All right, on to one more out-of-place odd villain, Grim Reaper. Okay, I can say basically all the same ragey stuff about this guy as I did Tiger Shark, but I won't. Basically, Grim's kind of cool. You might know from other Legends and toy line reviews, I'm a sucker for any accessories. While Grim's sigh isn't really an accessory, as it is just an extension of him, he also has a cloak or cape or whatever you want to call it, tomato. I dig it. His face paint is also extremely menacing and detailed. Not really hard to stand up and put him in obscure little positions and poses. And every detail about this guy is just well thought out. There's little screws detailed in his sigh. His head, like I mentioned, is just beyond original. I really like everything about him. And not to mention, his cape absolutely rules. So really kind of a big fan of this Grim Reaper, as weak as his sigh is. But his lower half is kind of lame. I will say that. But the cape totally makes up for it. On to another. Okay, so here he is, the not-to-scale Giant Man. And what a disappointing shame this figure is. Easy to stand, as you see, but you're also going to see how big he is in comparison to Bulldozer. And what a joke, right? Now, he's even smaller than Grimm, so it's obviously just a huge scaling issue. Also, upon first inspection, I did see something odd. I'm going to show you guys right now. Maybe hit me up in the comments below. But do you see it? It's like a giant gaping hole in his back, right in the center of that circle. So if you guys know what it is, hit me up. Let me know. Now, the paint's all right, but I don't really understand why they would mask a hole with that mediocre paint job. Besides the obvious scaling issues the figure has, he's just utterly generic. Much like the other figures, his head is it's kind of cool. It's detailed, and his facial structure is actually like superb. His antennas are a bit flimsy, as you'll see. All in all, to me, he's just another he's just a filler figure, another part to complete Ultron. No accessories, no open hands, boring and just kind of meh. Like that hole in the back, though, it gets me. So seriously, if you guys know what that is, hit me up in the comments below and let me know. There's obviously no accessories for him. There's nothing that goes in there. There's no wings or backpack, but he's a lame figure, and that's how we're gonna end it. So before I start saying all my typical issues accompanying female action figures, let me say this. Wasp is my favorite female action figure of all time. Wasp is obviously a pivotal character in Ant-Man and hopefully will continue to be in future films. And this figure is really well done. Her wings are, I think, the best part about her. They're 4 individual wings, totally customizable as far as position and layout, like left on right, up and down, whatever you really want. For that reason, I love it. Now, the real reason I love these wings is they are literally the crutch to this weak-kneed, small ankle female figure. You probably all could have guessed that she's back heavy, and she won't stand, not at all. But that's not a deal breaker for me because of the wings. They're able to bend and fold down into any stance, really. Her drop knee that I put her in with her open, rigid hand, no articulation, makes her look pretty awesome, I think. And I kind of like the open hand, too. It's kind of eloquent. All right, and here we are, on to the last figure, Ant-Man from the Ant-Man Legends Infinite series line. This guy is pretty cool. Ant-Man he's an awesome character, and they actually did an awesome job with this figure. So the way that they represent these figures in the Infinite series line is, I feel like there's always one really, really good one. So with the Guardians of the Galaxy line, we're looking at Star-Lord. With Ant-Man, we're looking at Ant-Man, and I don't know. I'm just getting a feel for the one figure that's always very, very cool, and Ant-Man is that in this figure. So he's got a really cool mold. I'm trying to show that off right now. His belt's molded really cool. His arms are molded really cool. His mask is obviously incredible. Upper torso is great. His knees, his knee pads, and his boots are all different and just unique. And he's just a very well done, unique, cool, molded, even painted figure. Everything's very, very, very detailed on him, from all the metal parts on him, and he's just awesome looking. So now what I'm going to pull out is I'm going to show you some of the accessories. As you can see, there's a little baby Ant-Man. There's also a Yellow Jacket. So I guess you do get a Yellow Jacket figure, but very, very small guys. Kind of cool. They fit in the Ant-Man universe that they can get very small. And we have a big giant ant, which I'm assuming is Antony. Now, the one thing that I was curious about is if there's like a top on him that you can put those small guys, but there definitely is not. This ant is just a standalone giant ant. I don't know if it's to be in scale with Ant-Man or Ant-Man big or Ant-Man small. But yeah, I love accessories. You guys know that. The paint, the mold on this is cool. So truthfully, there's not a lot that I can say that's really wrong with this figure. There seems to be some ding-ups, but then again, his armor just might be weathered and worn from using it. But really cool paint job, really cool mold. Sick figure. All right, so it is that time. I show you guys my least favorite and favorite figure. My favorite being, obviously, Ant-Man. I could not contain myself during that part of the review. Besides his mold and paint, he's just the most well-done figure in this entire line. And on to my least favorite. Drumroll, please. Tiger Shark. As you guys heard, Tiger Shark has a lot wrong with him, along with some other figures in this line. One being Giant Man. I couldn't contain myself. But if I could pick two great ones, I would pick Wasp and Ant-Man. Definitely two definitely gets for this figure series line. But Tiger Shark, you are the loser, and Ant-Man, you are definitely the winner. And now, on to Ultron. His color might be a little bit weird. I had to dick around with some of the color in the recording. But besides him being, I'm going to say, a little small for my liking, his paint, his metallic paint is very, very good. His mold is pretty incredible and detailed. Obviously, no copies from anything. Everything is a completely original mold for this figure. He's got the huge double joints for knees, as you guys see me playing with him right here. He also has that click bend chest. His toes are a little weird. His feet are a little weird, but the rolls, his rolls on his ankles, his super menacing hands, double jointed elbows. His head has a lot of motion to make him look, up in the air, down at the ground, into his hand. He's just an incredible looking and feeling figure. I will say, for feeling, I kind of wish he was a little heavier, but I'm not going to complain because this is one of the my only Ultron figures, and he's just very easy to pose, and he makes every pose look so perfect, and I feel like he should have been part of an Avengers line, but now that I have him, he will just be part of an Avengers diorama, and he's incredible. So definitely worth, if you don't build, definitely at least worth a pickup for this Ultron figure from the Age of Ultron movie. This is his generic look in the movie. So very cool head mold, very awesome. All right, guys. So thank you so much for checking out another episode of review, the Marvel Infinite series Ant-Man unboxing review. I am Tom. You guys can find the Geek Culture Podcast at thegeekculturepodcast.com. We are on iTunes and we are on Stitcher. You can listen to us there and download us and review us if you dig us. Make sure, if you haven't already, hit subscribe, guys. Definitely hit subscribe. It always helps us out, along with a like and a share or comment. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Twitter. That's it for me, though. Thank you so much for checking out the Ant-Man Marvel Legends Infinite series. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.